last week I told you guys that what is moving the market is more of geopolitics than the economic activities, and we saw that playing out last week, where I told you that guys that the US dollar will still continue its strength as a result of the Donald Trump winning the election, and we'll see people selling off their gold we get to key into the US economy, like to buy into the US economy. And then it happens last week, and as you see, gold is dropping and it will still continue to drop for probably maybe for some weeks or months. So let's see how that turns out. So here we saw the DSY breaking this particular area, coming back to this particular area. I told you guys that the DSY is going to break this level of 104, and then we'll see the DSY coming back to 106, and then we saw that happen last week. So what is the next price movement for the DSY? For me, I believe we should see price retrace back to 105 level, probably 105 500. So this level, we should see the DSY tracing back to this level before we see probably any further strength in that currency. So that's what I'm actually looking at from this area. So we should see the movement from 106, a retracement. Yes, that's what I actually want to say. We should see the retracement in the DSY coming back to this particular area, which means that next week we should see the DU buy, Euro US dollar buy, and AUD SND US dollar buy. So I think that's what we should see next week. But in a scenario where we actually see the DSY breaking the 106 level to the upside, then if this happen, then I might not be trading the dollar next week. I might not be trading the US dollar PS next week because you might not know when it will actually retrace, and the retrace might be brutal if we have a break of this 106 level. But if price still stay within this level, and then we see price coming back to this level, which means that it has already retraced. So this is where I want to see the continuation of the US dollar strength going to the next year, and this might actually happen for the next couple of weeks or probably a couple of days. So let's see how it goes. So what I'm actually looking at on DSY, as I said earlier, is the retracement from 106.995 back to 105.400. So this is where I want to see it, and this retracement might come to play out next week. Yeah, that is what I'm actually looking at in the market right now, for market price to retrace back to this particular area. And then, you know, last week we have some economic activities from the consumer confidence to the oil news. So on Thursday we saw the Canadian dollar decline based on the negative oil report on Thursday from the US dollar. So let's see from the US. Yeah, so that's what I want to say. So from the US, so you know, last week too we saw the gold decline, and I told you that gold is going to decline from that particular level last week if you go and watch the weekly forex forecast. And then we saw the decline last week. It declined massively, and probably we should still see the continuation of the decline with few retracements. So before we go to the individual currency, let's see the economic activities of next week. So next week, what we have in the economic activities is Monday is a quiet day. We just have Bank of Japan governor speech. On Tuesday, we have the monetary policy from the Australia. Tuesday too, we have the monetary policy report hearing from pounds, and then we have Canadian CPI. And then on Wednesday, we have pounds CPI, which is the most important one. Thursday, we have Bank of Japan governor speech, and the Bank of Australian governor speech, and the unemployment claims, which comes out every Thursday on Thursday next week. On Friday, we have the French flash manufacturing PMI, German flash manufacturing PMI, and then from the pounds too, we have the manufacturing PMI from pound. And then on Thursday we have the Canadian dollar retail sales report, and then we have the US dollar flash manufacturing PMI report on Thursday, on Friday. So what does all this news, how can we interpret this news going to the next week? For me, next week, I don't see a lot of movement next week. I don't see a lot of volatility like that. I don't see it coming next week. I feel next week you might just see retracement from all the peers, probably maybe that has entered overbought position or oversold position. Though oversold and overbought sometimes is fallacy in Forex, you get, but at some point, if some price has hit some certain level, it has to retrace. You understand? It has to give there will be a retracement, you get. So there should be a retracement if PS has moved to some level. So I think we should see retracement coming next week to some of these pairs, especially the US dollar. I think we should see the retracement in that particular currency, you get. And then I think next week too we should see Canadian dollar weakness coming to play out in the market after these CPI reports, because if you check what the previous CPI is 2.3, and what they want to release 2.2 as the forecast, not this is what they actually want to release. No, this is just a forecast, you get. And then the previous one is the trimmed one. The previous one is 2.4. The previous one is 2.4, and they want to actually release 2.4, which is the forecast. So I don't think we should see something more, probably more surprising on the Canadian dollar. I feel that we should see Canadian dollar weakness coming to play out next week. This pair might actually be weak. And the US dollar, I think we should see retracement coming back to the US dollar. You get, there is a parabolic move and then there is a retracement move. So we've seen the parabolic move, so probably we might be waiting for the retracement move in most of the currencies. So let's go to the individual currency pair. So the first one is gold. Last week I told you guys that gold will sell from this particular area. This is where gold is last week, and I've been telling you that you see a massive dump, and we saw it happening last week, and a good dump from this particular area, and then we saw it breaking this particular area to the downside, and then we saw price settling for a year on Friday. What am I looking at on gold? I'm looking for price to come back to this supply level, and then we'll see more movement to the downside, coming back to 2,452. So any retracement I see back here. So this is where I'll be looking for a reversal pattern in the candlestick. That's probably in the 4-hour candlestick. So this is where I'll be willing to sell from, and then probably I might actually take the retracement buy to if I want, but this is where I actually want to sell good from next week at this particular supply level right here. This is where I want to sell good from back to 2,452, and then if I see any buy opportunity here, I might take it back to this particular area, which I'm looking at right there. So that's what I'm looking out for on gold going to the next week. So the first normal PS I want to look for apart from gold is GBP USD. So if you check the weekly time frame on GBP USD, you see that it's at a support level using the trend line right here. So, and then if you now go back to the weekly time frame, to the daily time frame, let's just go back to the daily time frame. You see that price has already created some level of support at that particular area. So the network is slow, so let's just zoom it. Let's just zoom it. So this thing is slow somehow, so let's zoom it. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame. So this is the 4-hour time frame. So what I'm actually looking at is for price to reject at this particular area. I'm looking for rejection at this particular area to the upside, and we should see price coming back to this area. So the price is the network is slow previously, so pardon. So I'm looking for a rejection at this area. But on Monday, this is what I wanted to know. On Monday, if price now close below this area, I might not be trading the US dollar next week, because there might be a massive fall, and then we don't know where it will actually come to retrace. You get, but exactly if I now see the price close above this on Monday in the 4-hour time frame, and then we see price closing above this this trend line, so I'm waiting for a retest and a buy back to this particular level of resistance, which is at this particular area first. Then we might see price now ejecting from this area, but that is what I want to do on the BPSD. I'm waiting for price to, like I said, next week might just be a week that I might just be watching the markets, and I will not take any trade if most of these things did not go as I want it to go. You get, so I'll just be looking so that I will not be a trap in the market. Like, market will not use me for trap. So you just need to just be patient for price to come to you. So if price now come to me like this and it's settled above this, so I'll be waiting to buy from this particular area and then take profit at this level. So that's what I'm looking at on the GBP. And then you don't know, price might go as far as touching this particular level, because that level, this level is a very strong level of support. Checking the weekly time frame, we look at the other time. So the next pair I want to look at is AUD USD. So on AUD USD, what I'm actually looking for at this particular area is to actually buy, but I won't buy until price settled above this particular area. So this is still giving indication of a strong sell, which means that we might still see price coming back to this particular area before we see any move. So which means that if you zoom it further, this place is our zone. This is 4-hour time frame, right? So this 4-hour time frame, if it hit this area and got rejected, I'll be selling from here down, probably looking for another retracement. Then I'll be selling down to 0.63900. But if price close above 64813, then I'll be buying back to this supply level. So this is where my zone of buying or selling is. So if price close above this area, I'll be buying, and if price hit this area and they reject, I will be selling back to 0.63900. So that's what I'm looking at on the AUD USD. On the Euro USD, I'm looking to buy Euro USD back to the stop. Like I said, if price stay above this area, I'll be looking to buy back to this particular area, but the take profit should be this particular area, and then this is where I'll be looking for a sell opportunity if price reject this particular area. So I might be looking for a sell opportunity back to this level, you get, which might actually break this to the downside. So probably next week I'll be looking for a retracement on the euro USD to the upside. So this is where I'll be taking my first TP. You get this take profit. The first one I'll be taking at 0.6883, and if price close above that area, I'll be waiting for 0.7832 for the final TP. And then these are based on my own analysis. Your own analysis might be different, so you just need to buy, but this is where I'm actually buying from. And if price close below this area, then I will be very, very patient. Probably I might not trade euro US dollar next week. I'll be waiting for price to do what it wants to do, but I will be buying above 1.05251 going to the next week. On SND US dollar, I will be buying if price stay above this particular level right there, and then I'll be taking my profit at this level of 0.59400, or if price comes above this level. So if price now reverse and then settle below this area, I'll be looking for a sell opportunity back to 0.57893, which is the next support level. I'll be waiting for price to close above this before I buy, and then if price now say okay, it's close below this particular area, then I'll be waiting for a sell opportunity back to 0.57893. So euro AUD is one opportunity that you might not want to miss, because last week we saw a multiple rejection at the supply level right here, and then we saw the price closing below and break this trend line too. So what you want to do is wait for a retracement and a selling opportunity back to this support level of 0.61494, which is very, very straightforward. And then if price close above this area, you might want to wait for a buy opportunity and then buy back to the next resistance level. So that's what you want to do on euro AUD. But for now, it's giving a signal of a strong sell back to 1.61494, which is the next support level around that particular area. So on Australian dollar, Canadian dollar, so what I'll be waiting for is a buy opportunity. Price has closed above this particular level, and then we have the indication of a head and shoulder right here, which price has broken above the neckline, which means I'm waiting for a buy opportunity back to this area. So I believe we should see SND and then AUD strength next week. So that's what I'm looking forward to. AUD and then SND strength. You get SND strength. So that's what I'm looking forward to next week. I'm looking forward to these two pairs strength next week. So probably as price close above this area, I'll be buying. Then I'll probably set my stop loss above this level, which means that if price now close above this level back, we are in for a long ride to the downside. There is no doubt about that. So I try to make this short because like I said, next week you might see we might not see some trade play out that much next week. You get, it might just be a retracement week because we don't even have much economic activities apart from Friday, which we have the PMI news from the US dollar, and then probably on Thursday I think we have from the pounds and the euro. So next week, price has fall. We've seen this significant fall, so probably might see the retracement back to this particular level right here before we will see another fall right here. You understand? How price move, you get price move, it will fall, move, fall. So probably we should see another move back to this area before we see a potential fall back to the downside. So that's what I'm actually looking at in the market going to the next week. So let's see how it play out. So the next pair we want to check right here is the Canadian dollar JPY. As you know, this pair has moved massively to the downside. It moves on Friday. We saw the pair move massively to the downside. So what am I looking at here? I'm waiting for a retracement of this so that I can sell at this price level. So this price level I want to sell at. Probably the network is slow, so this price level I want to sell at. Let's just patience. This price level I want to sell at 108, 187. So probably I'm selling at this level. So I'll wait for price to come, and then if I see any rejection from this area, I'll be willing to sell from there. But if there's no rejection, then probably I'll wait for price to break this level before I want to think of buying. And the last pair you want to check today is Euro JPY. So I'm having a bad network today. So Euro JPY has break below 163.514. And what next is a potential retracement and potential sell setup from there. So if I see any sell, any rejection candle here, I'm selling back to 158.448. So on Monday, I'll wait for price to trace, and probably Tuesday or Wednesday, I might be waiting for a rejection to sell Euro JPY from this particular area. As you can see, the 200, the 50 moving average and the 200 moving average are actually above the price, which indicates a sell pressure at this particular moment, time or price level. Yeah, at this particular price level, which means that so I'm waiting for price to hit here and then reject for a sell setup back to 158.448. So guys, these are the pairs on my watch list going to the next week. And then you can also drop your opinion in the comment section, the pair you are actually looking at, and then what you're actually looking at to trade. Maybe your opinion is based on the US dollar strength, or probably US dollar weakness, or JPY weakness. And don't forget to click the link in the description box to register your favorite Forex broker, that is our Forex, and we have the link of the verified profile in the description box too. So click the link, verify, and then start trading. So that's all for the weekly Forex forecast. So don't forget to use a protective stop loss. Don't forget to trade safely, and then don't forget to enjoy your weekend. So see you next week.